Okay. So two unknowns, moment at A unknown, moment at B unknown, and moment at C is 0. So since it is at 0, so it is nothing to be worried about, since we know that the bending moment at C is 0. So it is unknown. The bending moment at C is 0 means it is known. So you don't have to make. Achha. So already I have put MA and NB as unknown. So therefore now step 2. Step 2 is locate the coordinate position. Locate the, so after step 1, we have to locate the coordinate position. We have to locate the coordinate position. Okay, very important. We have to locate the coordinate position. Pardon. So we have to locate the coordinate position. Just locate the coordinate position. Okay. Now our MA is unknown. So moment at A unknown and moment at B unknown. Okay. So I will put coordinate 1. So this time I have to put the numbering. I have to put the numbering of the coordinate. Put coordinate 1 at A and 2 at B. Okay. So two unknowns there. So wherever there is unknown, at those points I will put the coordinates. At those points I will put the coordinates. But this is not hard and fast rule. In my question, if any question, the coordinate is previously given in the question, then based on reference of the coordinate, I have to find my flexibility matrix. So point A is 1. So point A is 1 and coordinate 2 is B. Just we will put or represent like this. A is 1 and coordinate B is 2. Okay. So just put the numbering. Before this stage, there was no numbering on the beam. Please make sure before this stage, there was no numbering on the beam. Okay. So now step 3. Step 3. Step 3 is what? Step 3 is we have to develop. Step 3 is to develop. Step 3 will be to develop the primary structure. Develop what? Develop the coordinate structure or develop the release structure. Develop released or primary structure. So I will show you what is released or primary structure. Okay. No problem regarding that. Develop released or primary structure. Develop the primary or release structure. So what is this release of primary structure? This release of primary structure is nothing but we are removing the external load. We are just removing the external. That means remove, write down, remove external loads and remove external load and convert it to statically determinate. Convert it to statically determinate. So we have A here, we have A, we have B, again in BC, we have B, and we have C. So just develop the release of primary structure. Primary structure means we are removing the external loads, and I'm converting this. This is the indeterminate structure. So indeterminate structure to determinate structure. So like this. So the third step is we will remove the external load and convert the structure to determinate structure. Statically determinate structure. So we know simply supported beam is a statical determinate structure. Okay, so take down. So we have removed the external loads and converted into statical determinate structure. So unknowns are there, MA and MB. So I've represented MA and MB. If you have taken down, you can write in the chat box that's are done. Then I will erase this part. Okay, no problem. You take down, no hurry. Okay. So now step 4. So step 3 we have done. Step 4. Before step 4, don't write step 4 now. Before this, we have to draw another 2 different primary structures. Okay. I'm erasing this part. So in the step 3 only, so that was the previous diagram was figure 1. Okay. The previous diagram was figure 1. So say step 3. Step 3 is another figure 2. So what we are doing here? We are first. So here what we are doing? We will be figure 2 is another primary structure. Primary structure where supports are removed. Where supports are removed. Where supports are removed and extern and deflection. So In figure 2, primary structure where supports are removed. Primary structure where supports are removed and deflection due to external load is obtained. Deflection due to external loading is obtained. So the figure will be like this. So first write down primary structure where supports are removed and deflections are obtained. So supports are removed and deflection due to external loading is obtained. See what is the diagram. So let me show you. Let me show you the diagram. Okay. At support A, at point B, and at point C, I am removing the support. Okay, I am removing the support and I am just putting the UDL. UDL is the external loading. So in the figure 2, this is the figure 2 where primary structure where the loading is there and I am just removing the support. So obviously when I have removed the support, I have removed the support here, from here, from here. So obviously deflection will take place. So something like deflection will take place like this. So under external loading, the deflection due to external loading at point B, I am taking as delta Vallen, and C, I am taking delta 2. So at two different position I have my supports. So I have represented. So delta 1N will be the deflection due to external load. Deflection due to external loading at point B. So please see delta 1L. L signifies external load. Delta 2L deflection due to external loading. Due to external loading at point C. Because since I have removed the support, obviously there will be deflection. Let the new position be P dash then C dash. Loading at C. So this is figure 2. This is figure 2. Okay. So this is the thing. So deflection, so delta 1L, we will use all these values while solving the final matrix equation. We will use all these values. Okay. So delta 1L deflection at this point B due to external loading, and delta 2L the displacement at this position due to external loading. So obviously deflection means the bending moment. Okay. So here to calculate these two, we will apply conjugate beam method. We will use conjugate beam method. We will use conjugate beam method. Okay. So this is step 3. Then step 2. Step 3. Step 3 is we have to calculate the bending moment due to this external loading, UDL and point load. Calculate free BMD. Calculate the free BMD, that is the bending moment due to external loading. Bending moment due to external loading. Calculate free bending moment due to external loading in the primary structure. In the primary structure. So step 3 is calculation of bending moment in the primary structure. So what are the primary structure? So I will primary structure means statically determinate structure. Okay. So I will convert this AP into separate beam under UDL. The supports are there. Kilograms per meter. AB 60 kilograms per meter. So the bending moment will be like this: WL square by 8. And BC point load. BC point load. Okay. So triangular loading WL by 4. WL by 4. So this will be will be 60 into 4 square by 8, and this is 100 into 3 by 4. So we have to calculate the free bending moment diagram. What is free bending moment? Free bending moment diagram means due to external loading, and due to external loading, what is the bending moment diagram? And that too, when I am converting the beam into statically determinate structure. Very important. So step 3 will be calculation of bending moment in this single supported beam AB, and calculation of bending moment, that is the maximum bending moment in the simply supported beam BC. So the maximum bending moment at this point, it is coming 120 kilonewton meter. It is coming, maximum bending moment is 120 kilonewton meter. 120 kilonewton meter. Okay, and it is 75 kilonewton meter. So step 3 will be this. Basically, we are finding out the bending moment because we will later on in the next stage, we will apply the conjugate beam. Conjugate beam method is based on bending moment diagram. That is why I have calculated this bending moment. Step 1 हो गया. Step 1 is calculation of DS, degree of static indeterminacy, and showing where are the unknowns. Step 2 will be locate the coordinate points. I will show the coordinate points at various coordinate points. Step 3 will be I will show the primary structure. Primary structure means I will release the load, I will release the support and show the part, and step 3 will be this. Sorry, step 4. Sorry. This is not step 3, it is step 4. Step 4 will be calculation of normal bending moment. Obviously, W star will be plus. All this they have learned in second year, trigonometry. If you have taken down, you can write in the chat box. That's all done. You slowly take down, then I will erase this board and I will show you step 5, 6 and other steps. So please take down properly. Thank you. So the main purpose why we are finding out this bending moment, because I will use the main purpose of finding out this bending moment is that the main purpose of bending moment is that I will use my M by EI diagram, M bending moment by EI diagram, which is used in conjugate beam method. Actually, we will use either you can use a moment area theorem. We use moment area theorem when the unknowns are reactions. Please make sure if I put the here in this part, reactions are also unknown. Okay, when we are putting reactions as unknown, then I will take moment area method. When my unknowns are reaction, make sure when the unknowns are reaction, I will take moment area theorem. When my unknowns are bending moment, that is MA, MB, then I will take moment area, sorry, conjugate beam method. Not moment area, conjugate beam method. That is why I am using, or we are using, the conjugate beam method. Okay. So next step, step 5. So step 5. So we have got the maximum bending moment, maximum free bending moment. Right? The maximum. So step 5, the maximum free bending moment in the beam AB, N is 120 kilonewton meter and maximum free bending moment in the beam BC is 75 kilonewton meter. 75 kilonewton meter. Now we will use conjugate beam method. Use conjugate beam method. In order to use conjugate beam method, what we have to remember? Remember two things. Note that first is the shear force in conjugate beam. The shear force in conjugate beam. The shear force in conjugate beam is equals to the slope in real beam. Slope in real beam. The shear force in conjugate beam is equals to the slope in real beam. Shear force in conjugate beam is equals to the slope in real beam, and point 2 the deflection, the bending moment in conjugate beam, is equals to the deflection in the real beam. Deflection in real beam. So we will do the conjugate beam AB and BC. So this is A dash B dash. We will do M by I diagram. So I will draw the conjugate beam. So 120 by EI. And another is beam BC. So I am naming the conjugate beam different. AB is converted. See, AB converted to A dash B dash and BC converted to B dash C dash. Okay. So here also we will draw M by I diagram. If you forgot conjugate beam, you can go to any strength of material book and just revise. Okay. 75 by E. This is coordinate 2 and coordinate 1. So therefore, I will calculate delta 1L. Delta 1L will be shear force at A dash in conjugate beam A dash B dash. So please first take down, then I will go for it. Write this down quickly. So we are using conjugate beam method. Shear force in conjugate beam is slope in the real beam. So basically, delta 1L. So from these conjugate beams A dash B dash and B dash C dash, I will first calculate delta 1L. I will first calculate delta 1L. That is the shear force at A, shear force at this point in the conjugate beam A dash B dash. Okay. The shear force will be what? Half of the area of the diagram. Half of area of M by I diagram. We just see the parabolic diagram. So half of 2/3 into 125 EI into 4. So you will take the half the area of the diagram. So it's a parabolic diagram. And delta 2L will be shear force at B dash in A dash B dash plus shear force at B dash C dash. So that will be half of 2/3 into 160 by EI into 4 plus half of 75 by EI into 3. So 1L will be at coordinate 1, 2L will be at coordinate 2. And this coordinate 2 is shared at B dash in this beam only. See, 2 is at 2 position. At this position as well as this position. But 2 is located at B dash, and B dash is a common point between A dash B dash and B dash C dash. So B is the support which is sharing both the beams. That is why I have to take the contribution of both the beams. So it is coming 216.25 divided by E. So at this point, I am ending my class. Your next class will be on Monday, 2 to 4 p.m. So delta 1L, why it is only, so it is delta point 1 is located only at this point. Point 1 is not located on any other beam. So point 1 will be only the shear force at this point. Make sure this is point 1, that means shear force at A, and it is a simply supported beam. So the shear force will be equal and half. The shear force at A dash will be shear force at B dash. So half of area of the M by I diagram, that is the shear force. And for 2L, it will be 2 is located at this point, also at this point. So at this point, it will be half of 2/3 into 160 by EI into 4 at this point plus this point. So half of the area of the triangle, half into 75 by EI into 3. So this is for this point and this is for this point. So this one. So the value is 216.25 by E.